champion, your St.
Fan Report. Aloha and mahalo. I am Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan dancing, and I'm your host on the BlueNote Fan Report, brought to you by the Fan Report Media Group and the St. Louis Fan Report.com. Wow, been a few days since we've been around, had some things going on, couldn't do a show yesterday, but I was able to sit down at the old laptop and crank out an article that you guys did not like. Oh my goodness, am I getting roasted on that article? I am absolutely surprised. We got my buddy, my pal, Brad Pond saying the Blues are going to win. Because they're at home. Well, I hope so, Brad. My buddy Jose says, I think Maurice Paul will end up going to Vancouver as their next GM. That's a possibility. Vancouver today, Winnipeg today, their coach, he resigned, basically said, I can't take them to the next level. So somebody else needs to come in here and do it. I don't know about that, man. To me, and I heard him talking about this on NHL Network, is that it felt like, he's quitting on the team, right? That this is, there's something else that you don't want your players to quit. You're always on them to give their best. Well, here this guy is basically quitting on his team in the middle of the season. And that, I get it. It just doesn't feel right. I understand where he's coming from. I really do. It's a big surprise to me, or where they're coming from. A big surprise to me. And not only that, the Jets are not having that bad of a season. I mean, you're in the Central Division. This is a tough division. You're not going to, Hollebuck wasn't going to take you to that next level without having some assistance, some help there. And they didn't have any of that, right? Hey, E, thank you. Glad you're here. And I talked about this. I mentioned it in the article where I ranked the goalies. The goalie cannons in the Central, I was concerned about that. And then you have, I see mistakes made, and now is not the time to leave that team. Because I don't think it's going to help them. I really don't. I don't think that they're going to, if the coach was well liked, and from everything that I've heard and seen, he was well liked, and it's a shock to see that. Another thing that's happened in the NHL is Montreal had no fans yesterday, and throughout Canada, major arenas are being dropped down to 50%. The COVID is here to stay, folks. It's not going away. We need to learn to live with it. We need to learn to deal with it. Brad wants to know that if they're going to do that in St. Louis. I'll tell you right now, I don't see any of the teams in the lower 48 doing that unless the NHL mandates it, right? Right now, it doesn't feel like that. It feels like a lot of things are starting to get back to normal. It feels like in most cases that teams or cities are just starting to get to the point where they've said, you know what, it's now a personal responsibility. We just can't continue to go where we're going, right? And Brad Pond is asking if he thinks St. Louis will do what Montreal did with no fans in the stands.
I don't think we're there yet. If it came down to it, I think they would, but I don't think we're there yet.
Well, I don't think they're going to do it unless they're forced to by the government or the league itself.
Yeah.
Right? And from what I understand, even in St. Louis, like here in Hawaii, we're at 100% capacity.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The only thing that's been cut down is the hours. All right, like I think bars can only be open till 11. But movie theaters 100% capacity. Still, you have 100% capacity. You have restaurants and bars at 100% capacity. So there's this feeling that we're getting to the point where people are just going to say we're going to have to live with this, right? Jason Langford, hey Jason, welcome to the show. Says, of course, still COVID is still always will be. 75 lawmakers are just busted being invested in mask making companies and Pfizer. As long as millions are at stake, it will stick around. Well, they can stay open at 2 a.m. now. I didn't know that. Right? I thought it was 11, so it is 2 a.m. and Jose would know. He closes a lot of them down. I guess that means that your comedy show is going a little bit more. I don't think that this is a money thing, Jason. I understand where you're, I've never seen that. I don't know where you got that news. I'd have to go look for it for myself. And I don't want to get political, right? So let's not even go there right now. I didn't realize that your statement was as political as it was when I posted it. So please forgive me. That's not where I want to be. I want to be talking about hockey, and I want to be talking about what the Blues have going on right now. Okay, well, you know what? I will check that Business Insider out, and Jason, let's make that the last that we talk about COVID for right now, especially in a political manner, right? And I'll say something about articles. Oh my goodness, am I getting roasted today, Ashley? I mean, I'm getting seriously roasted. And the thing is, what I'm getting roasted over, and I don't mean to be a dick, but I'm going to be, is people that don't understand what the article was really about.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of them are sitting there saying that I'm trying to diminish the Blues, what the Blues achievement was. And I'm not. I'm trying to say that there's another narrative out there. Well, I appreciate that, Jason. Thank you. And I'm look. You can post anything else. It's just I don't want to get political. And I think you know that. Thank you, Tanner. We will try and have a great show. We appreciate you being here. We greatly appreciate you being here. Back to my article. The purpose of the article was to show that points percentage is a better way to look at the standings. That was the whole focus of the article. And I personally, I've read it 6 times now. And I don't think that that's lost. I think that it's pointed out, and I used the Blues because I'm very knowledgeable about them, as a point of reference. That's what I was doing. That's the only thing I was doing, using it as a point of reference.
But what you have to understand is that there are a lot of people who are just rah, let's go Blues. They don't want to see the negative. And you are more analytical. So you're trying to make them see something that might not be rah, let's go Blues. And they're going to tear you apart because you're not spewing sunshine and rainbows out your butt.
I got called a closet Blackhawks fan today.
I saw that. That was pretty amusing. But the point of writing anything, like the whole point of writing anything is to get emotion out. Now, you have evoked emotions. They might not all be positive, but you got people to read your article.
Yeah, well,
so I would take that as a win.
64 people.
Hey.
So it's one of the lowest read articles I have.
And it's only been 20 hours since you posted it?
Well, I've seen articles like at this point be in the 700 range. So this one is not getting shared out. It's not getting that. It wasn't something people wanted to read.
Oh, of course not.
Right. And actually, Chris, you're wrong. Points percentage has always been used, right? Like when they do the standings, like if teams are tied, they will put the team with the higher points percentage up first before they go to the next tiebreaker.
Yeah.
And the next tiebreaker is regulation wins. And then the tiebreaker after that is row, regulation overtime wins. And this kind of leads me to another article that I want to do. The family picture can wait, Ryan. Absolutely wait. That's not that important.
Especially when they're tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow you can get them clothes out. Hell, just go pull a Blues jersey on. You're good to go. I mean, that's what I would do.
I showed up to my brother's funeral in a frickin' Blues jersey, so.
Well, I mean, I get that. Your brother was a huge Blues fan, so.
No, he wasn't a Blues fan. He was just a sports fan.
Sports fan. Okay, I get that. That's what Ryan agrees with us. He's about. You're a dude. How much does your face take? Oh.
That one was a good one, Jason.
Show that one.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh, that's good. That's good, Jason. See, that's the kind of stuff I like. That's good. That's funny. So let's get into today's game. Let's talk about the matchup itself. Let's talk about.
Yeah, you could wear that reverse retro.
I like I'm obviously a fan of the reverse retro. Right? Obviously a fan of it. Let me see here real quick. Where am I going? Where am I at? Okay. There we go. Okay. So let's take and then I hit the wrong button again.
Butterfingers.
Yeah, well, it's just trying to look at what I'm seeing right now. Mm-hmm. And that's sometimes it gets a little difficult catching everything. Okay, so we're going to look at today's game from the numbers. The Blues are 16-8-5. This is team game number 30. This is the Dallas is 13-11-2 for 28 points. This is team game number 27 for them. So we have a few games in hand over them. Last game, we were able to beat them with Charlie Lindgren in net and Gillies as the backup. Excuse me, 4-1, and their head coach called out their players. I mean, called them out big. I think we're going to see Holtby tonight in the net for the Stars. For the Blues, we're going to see Lindgren in net. And you know what? This is a luxury. Mm-hmm. And Ashley, this is an absolute luxury.
Yes.
The reason that we can see Lindgren in net is to give Binnington a little bit more time to get up to speed, play a little more.
Then we're still playing a hot hand.
Yeah, and it's not wrong playing the hot hand. Jason says, thanks to last year's COVID schedule, it feels even weird playing Dallas. Not to me. The Olympics right now, I think it's going to end up being college kids, or it's going to be some minor leaguers that aren't going to, that are their teams are going to help them out going over there and that. While you say that, I don't know where mine is. Might have it in the other room. I might have to go look for it later. I still haven't found my flag yet. I got to look for it a little more. So let's look at some more numbers. Are you ready for some more numbers, Miss Ashley?
Bring it.
Okay, so let's take a look at. Well, first, let's look at this incredible list right here. You see that? Injured reserve list, 8 players.
Holy cow.
Yeah, and I'm not sure who's on. I don't think any of these are still on COVID.
No, Jordan Binnington was our last COVID. Those are all injuries.
So this is all injuries. You got Braden Shen, Robert Thomas, Jordan Kyrou, Ville Husso, Clem Costin. Now, Clem went to Springfield, and he's playing in Springfield right now for a conditioning. Mm-hmm. Good thing. Jake Wallman, David Perron, and James Neal. Neal, I don't see coming off. Right?
Yeah, no, he apparently injured his injury some more on practice the other day.
Okay, well, I didn't hear that. So, I mean, you're going to get more local news than I am, obviously. Mm-hmm. Perron, I know, is very, very close.
Yeah.
Perron, I know they're not saying it, but I'm pretty sure it is a concussion.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now, one thing I've seen today that I'm not 100% happy with is so we have 21 players, so somebody's got to sit.
Mm-hmm.
You know who's sitting?
No, who's sitting?
Brunovich.
Well, he sat last game too.
That was
he had illness.
No. They said that this is the first game he's been out as a healthy scratch.
Well, the last game he sat because he had a non-related
He had an illness.
Yeah,
right?
he had an illness.
Yeah, so as a healthy scratch, I'm not sure if I'm okay with that. But then again, when you look at our defensemen, who else do you sit? You know, even your nemesis Scandella has been playing much better.
Yeah, I mean, I would go in with what we had against them on Tuesday. I mean, it was a good lineup.
Okay, so let's take a look at some of the numbers. Overall record, we covered that. Dallas is on a 4-game losing streak. They've gone on something really interesting in the last 10. They won 6 and then lost 4. Right? Mm-hmm. So they went. So they're on this downward slope, and while they're on a downward slope, the Blues are on an upward slope. They've lost 1 game in their last 9.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I think that's right. In their last 10, they are 6-1. So in their last 10, they are 6-1-3. Mm-hmm. Right? So the only loss was to Tampa Bay. In Tampa Bay. And I think that but it was still a close game.
Oh, yeah. They won it at, the Blues took a bad penalty. They scored on the power play, and then they added an empty netter. So we lost 4-2.
Yeah, it was a close game all the way around. So that's, that bodes well. 1-goal game. Now, actually, the goal games don't affect. I think what affects me the most, if you go look at this, scoring first, Dallas, and we talked about this the last time we met them, is 12-4-1. When the opponent scores first, they're 1-7-1. When they're trailing after the first period, they're 0-6-0. I mean, that's some amazing, interesting numbers. Mm-hmm. Leading after the first period, they're 10-2-0, and we gave them one of those losses. Right? Mm-hmm. So the first period is going to be very important. Well, actually, no. They scored first, but they weren't leading after the first.
Yeah.
So actually, no, that's not. They were tied after the first. So they were tied after the first. They ended up, and I think they were tied after the second also. Right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. We were tied after. It was 1-1 after the second. No. It was, yeah, because we scored 3 goals in the, or was it 2-1 after the second?
It was 2-1 after the second.
2-1 after the second. So they were trailing. So trailing after 2 periods, they're 1-8-1. This team does not know how to come back.
Yes, Heinz is still out.
They either get out ahead or they fall behind. Right? They're not a comeback team. Whereas if you look at the Blues on the right-hand side there, you see that they can come back. Mm-hmm. Right? Trailing after the first period, 5-2-1. Trailing after 2 periods, that's where we're a little shaky. We're 1-5-0. But if we can get that lead after 2 periods, 9-0-2, it's pretty solid. We're going to end up winning that game. So that's an important one there. Then we get down into special teams. Well, goals by period. Dallas is scoring 2.7 and allowing 2.8. I think I'm saying that right. St. Louis is scoring 3.4, but actually right now they're averaging 4. Right, they're sitting right in that last 10 games. They're sitting right in that 4 range, mm-hmm. And they're only giving up 2.7. While last game it felt like it was an even, the teams were even. I don't feel like it is anymore. Power play: St. Louis is 3rd, Dallas is 4th, but I don't think Dallas really has the 4th best power play, to be honest with you. Right? I think that their power play is going to start falling. They're going to start allowing a lot more goals. I just say awesome stuff. Penalty killing. They're 13th in the NHL, and we've moved all the way up to 8th.
Mm-hmm.
Right, at 82.9%. And I talked about this the last time, that the number, I mean, how different, how small it was between the numbers, where how to jump up. And it was pretty small. Dallas is taking 7.4 minutes a game. St. Louis is taking 7.9. So that's even. I just think that right now, if you want to look at this game, if we can, 5-on-5, Dallas is -6, St. Louis is +10.
Mm-hmm.
I just think all over, the numbers tell me that we are a much better team than they are. So there's your current injuries, and we've lost a total of 64 man games. Tarasenko logged the second 3-point game of the season and the 24th of his career. He had a goal and 2 assists. Barbashev and Bushnovich, each recorded 2 assists. Parayko got his 3rd goal of the season. He had 5 shots on goal, and I say 3 of them were good, solid shots.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan O'Reilly logged his 5th goal and improved to 5-0, and the Blues are 5-0 when he scores this season. Damn it, O'Reilly, put the puck in the net more often.
Yeah, sheesh.
Right? Let's run down here real quick and see what some of the notes are on.
Chris, he's the top point leader. He is not the top scorer. That I think is still tied between Saad and Bush.
Okay, I can look at that real quick. For goals,
goals is Saad and I think Bushnovich, and then Tarasenko has points in general.
Well, here we go. For St. Louis, points. Tarasenko leads with 26. Bushnovich has 25. Kyrou is 25. Goals. Bushnovich has 11. Saad has 11. And Barbashev has 10. Tarasenko, I think, is at 9.
Yeah.
Right? I'm pretty sure Tarasenko is at 9. Assists. Thomas at 20. Tarasenko at 17. Kyrou at 16. And Kyrou's out right now. So he's still, he's going to get there. The shorthanded goals, you got Barbashev, Krug, and Saad. Power play goals, Bushnovich, Saad, and Perron. We're getting production from around the team. You're getting it all over the place, right? I mean, Bushnovich coming in this year with a +12. Who would have thought Bushnovich was going to come in here and lead this team in plus-minus?
Yeah.
Right? Falk at 10. Krug at 7.
Yeah.
Right? Defensemen are usually considered to have a good year when they're even.
Yeah.
Right? Even is a good year for a defenseman. You got your two of your top 3 defensemen are +10 and +7. Mm-hmm. That's saying a lot. I mean, a lot. Right?
Apparently, Marianne expected it. But she's smart, so I believe that.
How have the Blues managed to play better with their stars, especially without the big names stepping up during the time as much as you would think? It's beyond me outside of Tank. Well, you know what? Let's say this. There's a couple of different reasons why the team has performed this well. And I can't believe I'm about to say one of them. Right? And it's the top reason. The top reason is coaching. Coaching at the AHL level, coaching at the NHL level. Mm-hmm. Right? When you see these guys come in and step into the roles they've stepped into, something has happened in Springfield with Walker. Mm-hmm. Walker has transformed from a gritty type of player into an offensive powerhouse. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's passing the puck, he's shooting the puck, he has confidence.
He's getting in the corners, he's strong on the puck.
Yeah, he's doing all the things that you hope a player like this will do. Mm-hmm. Right? So coaching on both levels is 1. 2 is, and what Kevin T just said, this next man up mentality. right?
Mhm.
Bring in the next guy up. Hey, you know what? Just because you're in it's like, it wasn't, oh my God. It wasn't the Avalanche woe is me mentality.
Mhm.
And I'm sorry, after the shit that I've gone through on Twitter today, I will say that. I have saw so many people sit there and complain about the Avalanche have to play 2 men down yesterday, right? and act like it's the end of the world. Oh my God, why would the NHL let us do this?
They voted, and they voted to play.
Well, you know what? I heard that, but I think that that's not a true statement, right? I think that's just let's and there's reason number 3. Kevin T knows me. Yes, Kiss. They changed the style of game, right? They changed that style of game. They changed the style of game. Avs, Panthers, Flames, all postponed to Christmas. Well, I haven't heard that the Avs are postponed yet.
Yes, they are.
Okay.
That came out earlier today.
Okay. Well, I heard that one of their games might be postponed.
Oh, no. It's all the way until after the Christmas break, so they won't be back until like the 26th.
And that to me, they have guys on COVID, but they have injuries too. Mm-hmm. Right? So it's not just COVID.
But they have like, I think, 5 players on COVID, so
we had 6.
No, we had 3, like at the same time.
No, we had 6.
When did we?
Players.
We never had 6 at the same time.
We had Walker. Wallman. Walker and Wallman were still on COVID when Binnington, Falk, and somebody else went on. Right?
Wallman didn't have COVID.
Huh?
Wallman didn't have COVID.
Yeah, he did. Wallman was one of the first guys to get COVID. So was Walker.
That was in the playoffs.
I'm pretty sure of it. No.
That was in the playoffs. They didn't have COVID this season. They had it for the playoffs.
Who?
Walker, Wallman, and Perron had it during the playoffs. This season, they haven't had it.
I'm going to have to go back and look. I think that we've had 12 guys on COVID overall.
Yes, but not at the same time.
Mikola is who I'm thinking of. Mm-hmm. Right? We had, at one point, we had 6 guys on COVID. Along with our injuries, right? I was wrong about Walker. I'll admit I was wrong about Walker, though his name is like resonating with me for. No, Mikola had it. We had Mikola had it. Husso had it. O'Reilly had it. Binnington had it.
Yeah, but Binnington and O'Reilly weren't together. Neither.
Yeah. Krug had it, right? Krug had it for a while.
Yes, that was whenever it was Saad, O'Reilly, Krug.
Saad, O'Reilly, Krug.
And Mikola. And that was 4, so we still didn't meet the threshold. Then we cleared it. And then we had Husso.
Benny, Husso, Mikola, O'Reilly, Saad, and Krug.
But they weren't all together.
One more.
Yeah,
it was 9 guys on COVID.
It was he went to Toronto, and I'm blanking on his name. Clifford
had it.
But there were only 4 or 5 at a time, not 6. Once you hit 6, they cut you off. We didn't ever meet that threshold.
I thought we did. I thought at one time we had 5. We had either 5 or 6 on.
No, because it was O'Reilly, Saad, Clifford, and Mikola, and then it was Falk, Benny.
No, Husso was in that. Husso was in that at the same time as Mikola.
Yeah.
Right?
But that didn't meet the threshold. They weren't all at the same time.
Hey, Chris, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, the one more was Clifford. Okay. Bozak had it too. Yeah, that's right. Bozak had it.
Mm-hmm. That was with 3. It was Bozak, Falk, and Benny. 3, not 6.
I don't know. For me right now, the league, and I've said this, right, and I've said it on Twitter, and I'm getting, the fact that they had to do it one time, mm-hmm. right? Well, they said 2. I don't think that first game they played a man short. Someone said they played a man short that first game. I have to go look. The first game of the season against us, but I don't think they did. right?
No, they were down somebody for suspension, but they weren't playing down a game.
No, they had McKinnon out. The suspension came. I know McKinnon was out for COVID, but I don't think they played a man down, right? But it was laughable last night. It's laughable to hear these fans. Oh, and then this one fan, I said, to me it feels like the league is just trying to give him the cup, and he goes, well, why would they suspend our number 2 center for 8 games? Because he deserved it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it shouldn't have been that many. Oh no, it should have been more. They had 18 first game. 18 skaters? That makes 20. That's a full load.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have the 2 goalies, right? 18 skaters is a full load. Man, I can go back. I can go back and look at all the games. I can do that later. We never had 6 at a time. 4 was the max. Mm-hmm. So I'll go back, Chris. I mean, I'll go back and look at it, but I just know that the second this happens to Colorado, well, this happened last season too. One of the reasons that we got the Blues, who didn't have a COVID hit until the playoffs. Well, they had a couple earlier ones, but they were false positives. We didn't have a real serious hit until the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. And that was when we had a Walker, Wallman, and Perron out.
Yeah, but we also, I mean, at the beginning of the season, we had to play them 7 games against Phoenix, which I think hurt us, against Arizona, which I think hurt us. I really do. Because everyone else had games suspended because they got COVID. He was sick. He's not now. He was on the ice. He was practicing. So unless they're saying something. Oh, by the way, tonight's game is an ESPN only game. Mm-hmm. Right? So I want you to be aware of that tonight is an ESPN only game. So this is the only. Chris Hockley, I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that, my friend. I couldn't agree more with that. That is, I am absolutely on that, buddy. I'm trying to find. Here we go. Hockey night in USA. I do not want to watch in Spanish. See if ESPN can get there. They're getting better. Right? Blues and Ottawa are the only 2 teams I can think of that had to play shorthanded this season. No, there's been a couple other teams.
The Avs were short too yesterday. I will give them that.
Yeah.
We're down a referee tonight. Apparently, Mitch Dunning didn't show up, so it's all Dan O'Rourke.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, Jim Thomas tweeted that out.
I wonder why he didn't show up.
Who knows?
Yeah, that's an interesting tidbit there. Didn't show up. I wonder if it's a COVID thing.
Could be.
Right? No, I mean COVID's running through the league right now.
That's what I'm saying. It could be. I mean,
right?
Yes, 1 ref and 2 linesmen's what we're gonna have, Jose.
Old school, right? And in some cases, I actually like that better.
I do too.
Because in old school, the current linesman, right? Like, so has the linesman, that linesman could help with penalties.
Yeah.
Right? He couldn't call them per se, but he could go back and tell them that he missed something. Mm-hmm. Right? So I'm kind of hoping for something along those lines. I look for this to be a good game. I really do.
Oh yeah, I'm really excited about tonight's game.
Right? Man, I am having all kinds of trouble with the remote today.
How's the hand?
It's healing. It's been sore, but it is healing. Oh, game's already on. Okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Enjoy the game. I'll see you at the first intermission show. We talk too much.
Oh wow.
You know, one thing I would like to do, Ashley.
In the broadcast?
I know that you sit. I know you sit where you can't see the game. But I'd like to if we can get you set up to where we do a live reaction show. Like we watch the game and then react to what we're seeing and talk about the game as it's going on.
Yeah, we can try that.
I mean, we can work on it. It's something we can do.
You got to remember that on weekends I have 5 kids, so it would probably have to be a weekday game where my kids can go to bed.
Yeah. Oh, penalty already.
All right.
Okay, see you guys all at the intermission show.